just gonna. I'll send it in the chat if you can just share it out.
Yeah, cool.
2 seconds. It's live, so don't say anything too mad. Here you go. Oh. I'll show you, motherfucker. I'm just gonna share him out now. Who's been watching Love Island?
I can't. I've definitely been watching it. I missed it today.
I've only watched today and the first episode.
Is it worth watching?
It's not thingy. It's not built up yet.
It's not as lit, man. It's not. Let's talk about Too Hot to Handle, man.
Hey, that's been giving me jokes.
That's the one that's lit.
Which
that
one?
has been giving me jokes. I just seen Marvin, Pam, Melissa, Melinda, or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Fam, he's my king, man. French nigga. Listen, I need him to move mad. I need to, after he's done Melinda, I need to go and Pam. What's her name? Oh, what's her name?
None of the other girls really feeling. That's the worst bit.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah, like he's tried to bounce a couple of times and not.
Yeah. That is true. But that's mad. He's probably like the best looking youth there. But I think it's his accent. It's because he's French.
Bro, that and you know the obvious.
Yeah. No, but actually, outside of in studies though, they say niggas are the most desirable. But because it's on TV though, innit?
It don't really run that way still.
On TV, it don't run that way. On TV,
yeah.
It's on TV, yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go, man. Hello, welcome to another Ringside Fracas. My name's Lewis. I'm joined by usual duo of Jide and Samps. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Lots to digest after Samps' holiday. Actually, Jide, you were off last week as well.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed you that much, if I'm being honest. We survived. We survived.
What are you saying, that Samps doesn't miss you?
Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that.
And we got Naeem joining us again. How you doing, man? I love the shirt. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, come on. I'm glad to be here, man.
Is this your second or third time now?
Third, I think. Yeah,
third. All right, cool. Getting them appearances up, getting up. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of you now, Naeem. Am I right to believe that?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, lots to get stuck into. Before we do, though, make sure to use the hashtag Touchline Fracas, Apple reviews. If you're watching live on YouTube, remember just subscribe and like for me. That would be fantastic. And yeah, let's get cracking because there is a lot to talk about. Where should we start? Should we start with the main event, which was Gervonta Davis Barrios?
I love how you call that the main event. First of all,
you don't think that was the main event?
Of course it was, but there was 2 fights on. You went with that as the main event. Love that.
That is not the main event. Can never.
We already started it. Lewis has poured the mid decision. We're gonna go forward with that. Okay.
If I'm being honest, Jide, it's the event that I wanted to watch the most.
Why?
Because I thought it was more of a 50-50 matchup.
Seriously, a guy you've never heard of, Barrios.
Yeah.
I mean, that's serious.
To be fair, I hadn't really heard of Nakatani. So.
No. Well, that's an indictment on you because you're meant to be a hardcore boxing fan. But clearly you're not. Number 2,
put a case on you.
number two, Nakatani has fought at the elite level, and he's fought Teofimo Lopez and gave him all he can handle. That was a great fight.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Barrios, on the other hand, has fought nobody, picked out obscurity because he's got a overgrown record. No, it's not even here we go. It's facts though.
Yeah.
Like No one knows this guy. They picked him out. WBA and PBC, you know how them lot of bum chums.
Jesus.
Got his nice little regular title, and he beat up Javante Davis. He beat him up. So if you say,
my God.
If you say
his lens is nuts, you know. His glasses.
If you're saying that he was more excited for the Davis fight than the Loma fight, the Loma comeback, to me, that's mad to me. Like insane. Pure insanity. I can't even lie to you. Pure
Sorry, Jide, like these days you're just not allowed to enjoy anything, are you? You got the fun police over it. Just
PBC affiliated, you're not allowed.
Interesting. Look, I mean, I wonder what got more viewers.
Really?
No one knows.
No one knows.
I mean,
I've got
No, I mean dead serious. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I can bet you any money, it was Nakatani because it's free and it's on ESPN. No, but that's facts though. They put Javante Davis on pay-per-view. Like, how many pay-per-views do you think that sold? They're gonna probably inflate the tickets and say it sold 300,000 when it probably sold like 100. But
how dare you? How dare you?
Like, we know for a fact, like ESPN, my guy was on ESPN. It's gonna have way more viewers. Like, that's not even a contest. That's
no, I agree with you. Free to air versus obviously pay-per-view.
That's fair. I forgot it was on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I forgot.
However, we do know who the biggest draw is. That's not even debatable.
Based on what?
Based on historical pay-per-view.
So what?
And the fact that one is literally
no, based on what?
Okay, wait. One literally pulled out all the stars. One literally fights in MPF.
Oh my God.
One fight.
One pulled out all the stars. Wait, one pulled out all the stars because of who's mentoring.
That's the context, yeah. When I went to watch Loma versus Rigondeaux, yeah, that was in possibly the smallest stadium I've watched a fight.
Are we going all the way back to Loma? Who was Javante?
Loma versus Rigondeaux was in the smallest stadium.
Who was Javante fighting? Who was
fighters in Bethnal Green?
Okay, cool. Okay, the fighters Tank was fighting around that time. Was he selling anything? Like, are we really gonna go all the way back to that time? Is that the comparison we're gonna do? Tank now versus Loma then? Is that what we're gonna do? You're a business analyst, Samson. You know that is a fallacy. You know yourself that is a fallacy. So don't try and put them kind of nasty little tricks.
Jide, all I'm saying is, yeah, and you know what? I like to go by bookies, right, to show what the closest fight was. In terms of odds, right? Barrios and Tank was a far closer fight in terms of the way people thought it may go. So that is why I was looking forward to it a bit more.
I definitely hear you, because
that's why when I say it was more of a 50-50 matchup than Loma Nakatani, I had no doubts Lomachenko would win that fight. When we did the preview, the week before, the couple days before for Loma for Barrios Davis, I think everyone expressed some reservations about Barrios' size. You went on the pod.
No. In a group chat that I'm.
Dad,
God,
come join the pod.
These people
Vlog your son.
No bloody privacy. But anyway, that's my train of thought now. But yeah, in the group, I said Tank will probably beat him up. But
that's fine. But I'm saying on the pod, yeah, there were some reservations. Dr. Leroy, he said he was a bit concerned by Barrios' height.
Yeah, right? But he's a size merchant. We know Leroy. If you're big, Leroy is on you straight away. That's just it. If you're big, he's siding with you. He's a size merchant.
Agenda running against Dr. Leroy, eh? Anyway, right, let's start somewhere, right? Are you guys happy to start with Davis? Like, because look, there's all this going on. We'll leave it to Naeem. Naeem, where are we starting?
Let's start with Tank and
right.
Barrios.
Let's start with Tank. And why are we starting with Tank, Naeem?
Because it's what we've been talking about for like the past 5 minutes. So we might as well just finish up.
All right, Naeem, let's start with you because we haven't heard much from you so far. Thoughts on what was your prediction going into the fight beforehand? Obviously, we've just invited you into our esteemed boxing prediction league. So from I don't think it won't be this week, but the week after, I think you'll be actually able to put your predictions on paper. But I'll take your word for it. What was your prediction coming into this fight?
I thought Tank was going to win, but by like unanimous decision. I thought like he would fight Barrios, and then he'd realize his power isn't doing anything to Barrios, and then you just edge a decision somehow. So the fight actually surprised me in the sense that the first like 6 rounds, you probably give it to Barrios because he was actually sticking, moving, and Davis's shots weren't hitting him like that, like it normally does. Like, you know, when he's in 130, 126, like he hits them and they go down. But with Barrios, he was just taking it and moving forward. So the fact that Barrios was taking a lot of the rounds, even Floyd went up to him and said, "You're down on scorecards," and he was like proper confused, like, how am I down? Because obviously he had the 2 knockdowns. So like I was proper surprised how Barrios like actually took the shots, managed to box his way through it. But at the end, it was probably going to go to a decision. I thought like Barrios could stick it out and wait for a decision, but then he got too like comfortable with Tank's shots. Like this guy was probably trying to trade with Tank, and I was thinking, he knocked you down twice. And then why would you try trade with him? Like, you just do what you're doing, keep hitting him and move. But it was just weird from what he was doing at the end.
So did I just hear you say you gave Barrios the first how many rounds?
Probably like 4 or 5, like around there.
The first 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with that?
I don't personally. I think it was a lot. To be fair, I understand why you've done that, and I can see why people would have favored Barrios in terms of the actual scoring. But the effective shots were coming from Tank, and what Barrios was doing was good in terms of he was basically using his advantage of his height and size, isn't it? But it's the minute Tank turned up on him, and every time he put pressure on him, it just looked like he was always gonna go one way to me. But so I do understand what you're saying, and I think I did give Barrios I think I had it even up by I think by 6 rounds, and I was thinking this is getting a bit techie.
It's interesting because all the judges had it fairly wide.
Yeah.
One even had 97, 91.
Which
I guess that was always.
I thought that was a bit far.
Right. Okay.
But at the same time, Steve Farhad's scorecards also confused me. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Which is why Floyd went up to him and said, on the unofficial scorecard, you're down. And then Tank went out and did what Tank did. But which, by the way, Floyd's input, the whole way,
bizarre, right? Bizarre.
It was weird. It's like I'm convinced Floyd put a massive bit on Tank here, and he saw the unofficial scorecard. It's just shit. I cannot afford to lose this. Tank.
I can't. How big was the bet?
Floyd puts big bets on, doesn't he? He puts like 100k bets on and stuff.
I'm pretty sure he could afford the 100k bets, though, Sans.
Yeah, true, but anyone, lose 100k and want that, man, they're gonna feel that.
True. Jide, how did you view the Tank fight?
It was a bullshit fight. Put it out there. It's a complete.
You didn't enjoy the fight?
No, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Like I told Naeem earlier, I'm not going to support these BS fights. These overblown duckers, these hype jobs. That's what he is. Tank's a complete hype job. Not going to support them. I watched the highlight. Like the Loma fight happened first, and Tank was like, when it finished, the Tank fight was literally happening at the same time. I tuned out of it. Do you know what I mean? So it was what I will say is, because I watched the extended highlights, what I will say from what I saw.
So wait, hold on. You haven't actually seen the full fight?
I didn't watch the full fight. I've said it in a group. I watched the extended highlights. I'm not going to support bullshit fights.
So can we really
anyway, back to what I said.
Unboxing?
I mean, wait, anyway.
To be fair, I watched the highlights as well, but I watched like a 16-minute highlight video. And from what I saw out of that highlight video, I just saw Tank dominating. So I was surprised when I saw that scorecard that you're talking about. What the one where it was even.
I was talking and everyone just jumped in like.
Sorry, Jide, bloody hell.
Sorry, Jide, you know what? Go on, do your thing.
Anyway, Tank was throwing good shots, but he found it difficult to get inside of Barrios, who Barrios was actually fighting in front of him, which I don't understand how he could find it difficult to hit him. But anyway, he found it it looked like he was finding it difficult to impose himself on Barrios, but eventually he got to him late, and then he stopped him, which again, he should have beat. Like Barrios should have been beaten up. He shouldn't have been so close. It was way too close for my liking. Just shows he's a complete hype job, and when the real fighters get their paws on him, he's going to get stopped, and I can't wait for it. Anyway, you can talk now, Lewis.
Thanks, Sinead. Thanks for giving me permission to talk. Chris Andre, big up you, Chris Andre. He just commented in the stream and said, in terms of the earlier discussion, the difference is that Nakatani has proven he's a real guy with his display against Verdejo and even Lopez. Barris was still somewhat of an unknown entity. But Jide is being a bit harsh, in my opinion, to say Tank is a hype job, Joe. He is a good fighter, bro.
Personal vendetta against Tank. I don't know what Tank did to him in his former life here, but Jide really doesn't like him. Like,
no, again, it's not that I don't like Tank. I just don't like what the PBC are doing. Like right after the fight, Floyd came out and said it's not our job to make other companies great. We're fighting in house only. They said they came out. Tank's trainer came out the other day, like a few days ago, and lied. They gaslight fans. He said Loma ducked Tank. That is gaslighting fans right in everyone's face.
On the note of the promotion,
Ellaby came out and said, there's no one knows who Josh Taylor is. Who knows who Barrios is? No one knows who Tevin Farmer is. No one knew who Loma was. Like, they are completely shielding this guy away from real fights and just hyping him. They just basically making cultural icons. As long as Tank is knocking guys out and they can sell that, that's what they're gonna call him a real fighter. He's a freeweight world champion when in reality he's only a one weight world champion. But they're hyping him up as a freeweight world champion, and that's why I'm saying these guys will never be great. I don't know. I'm a boxing fan. I'm not here to support promotions, and I want to see the best fights. And if Tank has been fighting for so long, lightweights completely ducked all the lightweights, and what makes it so nasty for me is Ellaby said, Floyd and Ellaby saying they're gonna make PBC and many other promotions. They're just gonna fight their own fighters, but then they're calling out Ryan Garcia, who's got mental health issues. Like, so you're basically looking.
Called them out, by the way.
It was Ellaby said they want to fight him. They want to fight Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, but what did Ryan Garcia say?
What did he say?
Ryan Garcia came out and said that's the only fight he wants to share his Tank. He wants it by the end of the year.
After the
only reason, in my opinion, they are going for Tank for Ryan Garcia is because he's a winnable fight. They're not looking at Tio because he gets beat up. They're not looking at Loma because he gets beat up. They're not looking at our boy Devin Haney because he probably gets outboxed. But Ryan Garcia makes enough mistakes. He does a lot of things wrong. He stands upright. His chin is in the air. They're not, Tank can get him. Everyone else, they're not looking for that. But listen, if you fight Ryan Garcia, I'll be happy. At least I would say that is a world-class fighter that I know is in his prime. So go and fight Ryan Garcia. Do that, Tank, and then I'll give you a bit more credit. But as long as the PBC keep doing this little business where they're not fighting anyone or they're not trying to do cross-promotional fights, they're trying to move like the UFC. This is boxing. This is not MMA. You cannot shut everyone out and think we're just going to accept it.
But what's the motive behind shutting everyone out? Because that doesn't seem like a smart business strategy to me. So I want to, and these aren't stupid people. These are not, these aren't thick people who don't know how to, run a business. So what is the thinking behind shutting out other organizations?
Other promotions have done the same tactic and done the same strategy previously. It's not new to boxing. It's just Floyd and Ellaby actually came out and said it, which is weird, like super weird. I can't, which I don't agree with anybody or any promoter that goes out and basically pits their fighters up only against their own in-house promotion fighters. I find that to be detrimental to the sport, doesn't progress the sport. And me and Jide actually agree quite heavily on that. When Floyd said that, I came out and said straight away, that's nasty, that's terrible. I don't want to hear anyone say that we're going to fight in-house, because the fights we want to see, they can land anywhere in the promotional board. But if that's what you're saying, we're not going to see those fights. But it's not new. Top Rank have been doing that for years. Top Rank literally used to harbor certain belts and only literally have their own fighters fight their champion. Pacquiao is a prime example of that. When he fought Bradley, then he fought Horn, and it was meant to land up against Crawford and so forth. It's not new. Same way Eddie does it too as well to a certain degree. Every promoter holds their belt.
I knew. I was waiting. I was waiting for Sam to be like, even Eddie does it. Even Eddie.
I'm sorry, I don't agree.
I literally said to a degree. Yeah, so I'm not saying, to be fair on Eddie at least does go out and, you know, will put deals on the table for other promotions. And you can't say that PBC don't work with anybody else, because they literally have Wilder fighting against a top rank fighter as well. Don't get me wrong. I do agree with you today that that is terrible and all of the above that you said, but don't go on like it's literally one promotional team. It's not.
Shall I tell you why I'm putting the spotlight on PBC?
Because he went out and I agree.
No, because they're doing it now. They're the main ones. They have a lot of power. When Top Rank had power, I agree with you. When Top Rank were doing it and they were recycling Pacquiao, Bradley, Marquez, and they were just having a round robin between them three and putting Cotto in, and I completely agree with you. That was BS. But they had power then, and that's why everyone was onto them. What the PBC are doing now is, which to some extent in the start, I kind of had sympathy. I kind of sympathize and empathize with them. When fighters like with the complexion of Floyd and whatnot, they were being treated like shit. They were being completely not protected by the boxing world, HBO. All these people were getting onto them. They were not like, they were doing a lot. Yeah, Heyman was completely castigated and was thrown into the wolves, and they tried to sue him just because he was trying to get fighters paid and it was disgusting at the start. I feel like now PBC have got that power. They've got the foothold in boxing.
Yeah.
They've established themselves now. So what they do now is like it's a revenge. It's like they're doing revenge. They're doing a revenge arc, and now they know they have the power. They have the most powerful names, the most powerful fighters, the most powerful people in the background. They're in bed with the WBA. They're in bed with the WBC. Like they know they have that power and that clout. And it's like now they're trying to redo it back to everyone else. And I'm sorry, you can't. If that's your game is to fuck everyone up because they fucked you up, you're hurting the sport. And like I said, I'm a boxing fan. I'm not a PBC fan. I'm not Mayweather. I'm a Floyd fan as a fighter. I'm not a Floyd fan as a man. I'm not just going to support you because you're black. This is not, do you know what I mean? Like, it don't make sense to me. And they've got this cult fan base who, no matter what, they know, right or wrong, they're going to ride with anything the PBC do. And because of that, they know this cult fan base have the cultural power. They have people like Floyd backing them. They have the rappers. They have once you have the cultural narrative and you can control the narrative, it doesn't matter. That is why there's no pressure on fighters like Tank to go and fight the best fighters. They said it openly. It's not about fighting. We don't care about fighting the best. LB's like, what are you bringing? You don't. If you're a good fighter,
more than being undisputed.
Yeah, like, bro. Crazy. Muhammad, like let's go back to the greats of American boxing. Muhammad Ali would never say that. Sugar Ray Leonard will never say that. Tommy Hearns will never say that. Hagler will never say that. From the 40s till now, even Floyd, we said it earlier, Floyd Mayweather would never in his life fight for a regular title. Never in his existence. He would slap you 10 times before you tell him to fight for a regular title. No, but that's facts. It will never do that.
Taking the promotional politics aside, Joe, when you go on and say that Tank is being protected and so forth and gets wiped, do you genuinely truly believe that everyone at 135 wipes?
No, of course not. That's
who does Tank beat at 135?
I feel like Tank beats Davis. I feel like he gives Tio a very good fight.
Wait, say that again.
Not Garcia, sorry. Not
Garcia, yeah.
Yeah, I think he beats Garcia. I think he gives Tio a very, very good fight. In fact, I can even see him winning that Tio fight. But Loma, I feel like Loma just destroys him. Haney, I feel like Haney beats him as well because Haney will just box him from range. Like,
now the point that I want to say now, as much as I hear everything, and I do feel like all these fighters have attributes to beat Tank. Don't you feel like his power is a serious neutralizer against?
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm saying for a fact he beats Garcia. Fact. Tio, the reason why I reckon I give him a good chance against Tio, although I still fancy Tio, again, it's because they both hit hard. And I don't feel like Tio, when he gets hit hard, he doesn't like it. Like, he that's one of the things. I'm not saying that Nakatani is a hard puncher or whatnot.
Yeah,
when he was touching him, he was feeling it. It was was more hesitant, and I feel like that will happen against Tank. Loma, on the other hand, I feel like Loma's just a psychopath. Like Tank's too small. It's just gonna read him. Will know his trajectory, and will just box him. Listen, Tank gives all these guys great fights. I wasn't always onto Tank before. Like I said in the group chat, before all this bullshit became what it is, I wanted Tank to fight Tevin Farmer. Me and Leroy had a £100 bet on Tank versus Tevin Farmer, and that's not because I believe Tevin beats Tank. Like I was gonna lose that bet, but I just wanted Tank to fight someone good because around that same time it was meant to fight.
You knew it wasn't gonna happen, so you bet.
No. Because remember, Leroy said Tank stops him, and I reckon Tank beats him on points. That was the main part of the bet. But I just wanted to see that fight because that was a unification, cross-promotional fight. And before that, you didn't fight Loma. When him and Floyd were having an argument, we're having that little disagreement, and Floyd said, "I'm gonna make you fight Loma next." Did you see his face? Listen, we need to pull off that interview again. His face, it's like he went pale. It's like, what? You're really gonna put me in? I was like, you're meant to be a fighter. Like, bro, what are we doing here? What are we actually doing?
How old was he then? Like 20 years old?
I'm sorry. Listen, Sugar Ray Leonard fought Tommy Hearns at 22. I'm sorry, I'm not hearing the age. The moment you win a world championship, the moment you call yourself...
In fairness, I'm an advocate of that as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
as a young boy, you're putting him against like the pound for pound number one.
And you're probably fearless at that age as well, anyway.
You're supposed to be, but these guys clearly not.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, I'm no professional fighter. Let me just bring Naeem back into the conversation. Naeem, in an ideal world, what do we want to see from Tank next?
Fight one of the top guys at 135, LOMACHENKO, Tio, Haney, Garcia, one of them in it. Like, I think it would be a big event, and it'll get people talking about it, like especially in America, like because his name is so huge over there, and those are like, in my opinion, like 50-50 fights. You could say like it could go either way, and those are the type of fights that boxing needs, in it. And he's only got one decent name on his record right now, which is Santa Cruz. Other than that, he hasn't really got a decent name on his record. He needs to start fighting the bigger, better guys to become like a legend. If he wants to become like Floyd, he needs to do Floyd stuff and take on the big legends in the big, not big legends, but the top guys in the division. And that's it. Stop fighting for like regular belts. Stop fighting random people. Fight the big guys now.
Don't you think though? I don't like the regular belt, and I think they need to scrap all that shit. Seriously, it's ruining boxing. Yeah, but at the same time, Floyd won up 2 weight divisions and he won the belt. And that was the whole premise behind jumping up. And as much, don't get me wrong, yeah, I don't rate Barrios as a top fighter. However, I will say he was a decent opposition, and he was, at the end of the day, a WBA regular champion, and was a game fighter as well. When GD starts rubbishing fighters to prove a point, I feel like it's a bit too excessive.
Where would Barrios rank amongst the world 140s?
You know, B-level fighter. But however, he was, in terms of that, like dimension,
top 10 in that division.
Yeah, definitely top 10, 100% top 10, 100% top 10. But like because of the dimensions and the weight implication, it was a decent test, and we actually got a decent fight. We saw Tank actually have adversity to face, and solve a puzzle, and he did so in dramatic fashion. To me, if we don't come out of that and credit him for that, you're a hater.
I get what you're saying, but like I enjoyed this fight. It was a brilliant fight. But as long as you have this fight, and then like let's say at the end of the year you promise like a big fight, then like because boxing needs at least 1 or 2 big fights a year, and we can't keep doing these type of fights. The thing that annoys me is you're gonna fight Barrios, but you're not gonna fight anyone big next. Like it's just, we know it's gonna be someone who else. Like it's just gonna be some random guy that they're gonna put a head in front of him. Like that's what.
When it comes to that, I totally agree with everyone. I just don't like when people then start rubbishing guys to prove a point.
Okay. Everyone who boxes and gets in the ring is a warrior, innit? Don't get me wrong. I'm not being rubbishing them to just be like out of order, but Barrios is nobody. Like they literally picked him out of obscurity, put him in the undercard of a fight beforehand, so his name can float around. No, but that's literally what they did. Okay, that guy that beat Chris Congo, what's his name again?
Mickinson.
He's like 19-0, 20-0, right?
Yeah.
So imagine he gets given the WBA regular belt at welterweight, and I don't know, Spence goes and beats him up. Actually, let's not even say Spence. Someone who moves up. Let's say Josh Taylor fights him and beats him up. Would you call that? Oh my God, that's such a great, amazing win. It was a great fight.
Yeah, because they're the same weight division, and it's literally
like, no, but that's literally Barrios though. That is this. You can draw that parallel. It's the same kind of thing.
No, you can't, because the different.
You can draw that parallel.
Come up 2 weight divisions.
They're both
that's the challenge.
No, not 2 weight. He came up 1. I swear. Because
his last fight was at 130.
Wasn't 135, mate.
His last fight was 130.
It was 135.
His last fight was at 130 against Santa Cruz.
I swear
he was Gamboa was 135 and Santa Cruz 130.
Yeah, but what wasn't the 135 belt on the line for that?
It wasn't the line.
Oh my God! See what I mean? But anyway,
like I keep saying, put the politics aside, because we can debate about that for 2 hours if we want to.
Yeah, but my point is, Barrios and Mickelson are the same kind of fighter. They have parallels. They both ain't fought nobody. They both have a padded record, and they both can get flung into the spotlight. Listen, Barrios, he did well. One thing I'll say, yeah, he was game. Like you said, he was game. Gave a great fight, great account for himself, and he's probably going to make a lot of money now. He's probably going to be, now people know who he is. So you know what? Fighters, if you see opportunities like that against name fighters, take it, man. And Barrios is going to be that story. He took the fight, and now he's going to go make some money. So I'm not mad at him. But Tank is supposed to be a generational talent. He's got generational power. He's quick, great footwork, great boxing brain. He's got all these great attributes, but you are protecting him like he can't fight, and he's accepting it. I personally just can't support that. It's just hard for me. Like if Eddie Hearn starts doing the same bullshit with his fighters, if he, I don't know, Conor Benn. If he
Conor Benn's gonna get
no. Listen, when Conor Benn gets to world level, because we've been arguing that he's on the fringes of it, right? Once Conor Benn gets to world level, and if he starts doing this bullshit, if Eddie, we will call him out. I'm not. Listen, I don't have qualms with calling out guys that I support. I support Conor Benn because I see Conor Benn improving. I like his story. I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Conor Benn fan yet. It hasn't got there for me, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I just want these guys to fight the right fights. Joe Ennis is PBC, but I love him. I love
Keith Thurman cannot hear his name.
Yeah, listen, Keith Thurman is another guy I want to when Keith was coming up the rankings, what was he saying? He was calling out Floyd. He was chatting the most shit about Floyd. Floyd don't fight black fighters. Floyd doesn't fight young fighters. Floyd doesn't like challenging. I'm the WBA mandatory, but Floyd don't want to fight me. He's ducking me. XYZ, 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 right? The moment man found love, got beat up by Pacquiao, and now he's a journeyman. Or he's not a journeyman, but he's just floating around the division. Yeah. He's not. They asked him about Victor Ortiz. He doesn't know. He doesn't want to.
Don't no business with him.
Ennis, he's like, oh, he ain't done nothing for me. He's not gonna fight him. Like
you missed the bit when he actually was a champion, and then told Spence that Spence has to go and jump over 7 hoops.
Yeah. And that's why Spence says I'll never fight him.
Yeah. There's a familiar theme there, isn't there? There's a familiar theme around that kind of thing. It's almost a bit like, getting to a certain level and then pulling the ladder up from underneath you, because you don't want that new hot prospect to come and take your shine from you, kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to Loma, because I think probably out of him and Davis, I think Loma's performance was the most impressive one. I think, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Hey, Loma was cold. Get it back in blood. He was on it.
He was amazing, man.
Where would this Lomachenko fight rank for you guys in his all-time best performances?
It's up there for me, personally.
Oh, nah, man. I'm sorry, man. It was a good performance. It was a very good performance, but he's had some spectacular performances, man. Like,
all
the Nomas is like.
Yeah, no, I agree, but shall I tell you why? For me, that's right up there for me, because like the circumstances coming from the fight, he just lost. Everyone's removed him from their pound for pound list. They're trying to freeze him out of the division. He's had surgery on his shoulder. Like, the pressure on Loma going into that fight was huge. He's saying Nakatani is much bigger than him. He's a good boxer. He knows how to use range well. He doesn't freeze and all this shit. Loma went in there and froze him up. That's one that was a no mass. Because listen, Nakatani, in my opinion, he quit before the fight was stopped.
Yeah.
He quit because he froze. Loma took away every tool he has. That man is a monster. Like, he went in there and he wanted to make a statement, and he made that statement. That's why I rate that performance highly, personally. It's a great performance because he went in there from round one. He was just feeling him out. Okay, let me take away your jab. Took away his jab. Let me take away your right hand. Took away his right hand. Nakatani didn't know what to throw. He's just like, crap, I can't. Do you know? It's basically, remember what Canelo done to Smith? It's literally that. It's like it took away his weapons, and then he's just like, you're just some big guy. You don't know what else to do now. You're just big.
Covered up.
Just covered up. It's a great performance, man.
It's the difference between very good, like Nakatani's a very good fighter and Loma's an elite. Like, that's the difference. You saw that difference, like what it takes to be elite. He took away, like you said, he took away everything and just landed on him at will. And his footwork is just amazing. Like, you watch his footwork and you're just like, wow, how'd you do that? It's just his ballet skills in it. It's just fun to watch all together.
Yeah, it's I just had a quick look at Loma's age. He's 33 now, and you know, it's we because we just spent a big portion of time talking about Tank, and yeah, he's a young man. He's 26. He's got a lot of time on his hands to, you know, make these fights happen, and eventually, you know, we can give him the benefit of the doubt now. Maybe he's still a young guy. Loma, we need to start seeing him against like the top guys as well. So what we've obviously got the TO rematch that could happen, but what would you like to see next from Loma? Is it the TO rematch?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Will that happen?
No. It's not gonna happen. His dad did the right thing. His dad, did exactly what I say all the time. As a fighter, you never want to be out there looking like you are trying to avoid the fight. Go and get your promotional team, go and get your manager to go out there and say to the crowd, yeah, we're going to do that. And behind the scenes, you tell them we did not take that fight, okay? And that's what he done. His dad went out there and said, yeah, signed it, get it done next. They're not fighting. Tio's not fighting until September, apparently. So there's no way.
He's been pushed back a couple of times, hasn't it?
Yeah. There's no way Loma's happening in India. It's not happening.
So if not Tio,
I think it happens. I think what's it called? I think Tio fights the person who's meant to fight Kambosos. Yeah. He comes back from COVID. He fights Kambosos. But remember,
he's having a baby.
Okay, Tio.
Having a baby. Okay. That's why he wants to get the fight done before November. I think it is because he's having a baby around November. Not happening for the end of this year.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think he's fighting in August, 14th of August.
No, that's been pushed back already.
It's been pushed back?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he fights Kambosos, but I do feel like the Loma fight happens. But remember, what Tio wanted was more money, and they got him. They said they want to be compensated properly for the fight, and I feel like the first fight they didn't really get paid that much, but this time I feel like the split is going to be so crazy. It'll be probably like 70-30 with pay-per-view upside. I know there's something crazy in the deal, like that is so big, you just can't say no. And I do truly believe in my heart, Tio believes he has Loma's number. I truly believe that. He's studied him so much and he beat him the first fight that it feels like, you know what, I could do this again, but this time I'm going to have a crowd and I'm going to have way more money. So the close rounds is going to go to Tio. So I do feel like Tio believes he can win this fight. But honestly, if it happens, Loma beats him up. As long as Loma's not 35 or some shit like that.
I mean, he'll be 35 very soon. I agree with you, though. I think it might be one of those things where I don't think it will be like Tio will be forever Loma's bogeyman. I think we saw towards the end of that first fight that Loma was just slightly starting to work him out a bit. And yeah, fine. We can talk about how well he couldn't put that pressure on in the first 6 or 7 rounds because Tio was landing some bombs on him, you know. So I guess you have to take that into consideration, and Tio can still do that. But I just fancy Lomachenko to be a bit bit more experienced, and just downloading Tio a little bit quicker and just getting the better of him, really. But if not Tio, then who next for Loma?
Someone on top rank. It's more likely to be on top rank than anyone else.
Who would that be?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone on top rank.
I don't know the top ranks table. They're not gonna feed. No one in the PBC is gonna feed a 135 pounder to top rank, and I don't know who does Matchroom have at 135. Haney wants that fight. They're not top rank. Ain't gonna fight him. So it's just straight up. Loma's just gonna fight another scrub until we can get the TO fight.
Can I just add?
The person I thought the most in all this is Haney, man. Like you can't get a fight to save his life.
Yeah. Can I just add? Yeah. Did any of you watch that like the 24/7 type thing Top Rank did for Loma? That was the most disgusting bit of TV I've seen in ages.
Why?
Bro, like you know how everyone gets into Wilder, yeah? For like Wilder's excuses. If you watch that program, my God, as a boxing fan, I've said it so many times. Once you lose, just say you're gonna get it back in blood. Don't say nothing else. They came out with so many excuses. It was shocking. From oh yeah, my shoulder. From they even did the AJ. I don't know why I feel like this during the fight. Like there was so many different things going on. I was like, what the hell? The whole build up here and the whole program was centered about Loma not basically being ready or being mentally there. He even started talking about lockdown and how no fans affected him. Thinking, this is mad. How's he getting away with this?
I didn't see it personally. I didn't see it, but yeah, that does sound.
23 minutes.
I didn't see anything. So,
I didn't see it.
But if you made those excuses, then
that does sound.
At the end of the fight, he was making better excuses as well. Like I didn't lose, it was a draw. Stuff like
Yeah.
Wait, he actually finished with the fight. He actually finished the program, basically arguing, saying, "Yeah, I didn't lose. It was a draw." I've never ever heard a fighter argue for a draw. That means you lost.
Yeah. He lost. He lost. I don't see how anyone could even put the scorecard in his face. Even a draw. I think that's well off the mark. I think I had that. I think I had Tio at least 2 or 3 up.
No, he did lose that fight. Although he won most of the late rounds, but he lost that fight.
I think he won like the back end 5 or something like that, but he lost like the first 7. So
that's what it was. And for him, although the surgery was legit, like you can see in his arm, he had that soldier surgery. But my thing is, Andre Ward won a tournament with a shoulder injury as well. So if you guys are warriors, obviously it's a handicap, but everyone has injuries, isn't it? So it's one of those things. I don't think we should give you an excuse for that. But Mark,
you've heard my point when it comes to injuries. If you're injured, and it's it's going to handicap you for the fight, don't take the fight. Pull out the fight. Pull out the fight if you think it's going to handicap you that much. If you go into that fight, with a handicap like that, knowing that you have it, you believe you're going to win. So shut up. When you lose, shut up. Don't mention it.
Let's move on then, because we've got a few more things to talk about. Erickson Lubin had a very good win, very impressive win, I should say, against Jason. Is it Jason Rosario? Is that his name? Jason, right?
Rosario.
Yeah. Now Lubin is Lubin's an interesting one because I remember watching this kid quite some years ago now. I'm thinking, fucking hell, like this guy looks cold, and then obviously Charlo laid the smackdown on him within 1 minute, and I feel like I ain't heard the name since. So it was quite nice to see him look like he is bouncing back. I don't know too much to the quality of the opponent that he's fighting and stuff like that, but I think he's won his last 6 in a row. What's going on with Lubin? Were you guys impressed? Do you guys like Lubin as a fighter? Do you think he has something to say at 135, at 154? Sorry.
Yeah, man. I think he's a quality fighter. Unfortunately for him, he really got smoked out by Charlo and run over, and that really did just put him in the back burner. But he's been doing really well on the radar, to be honest with you. And in that fight in particular, apart from the wobble he had in the bit where he did a bit of a dance, he literally smacked man up.
Yeah, no, Lubin's a good fighter, but his kryptonite is too big. It's too peak.
Chinny.
It's too chinny, man. He's just way too chinny, and he's at a weight class where guys bang. So what I feel for him, what I feel that might help him out is a lot of the guys like Charlo is probably going to move up soon. Herd's already moved up. So a lot of the harder punchers are leaving the division, and they're not. For example, PBC are not going to fight my boy in Australia. What's his name?
Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, they're not going to fight Tim Tszyu.
He's fighting this weekend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or is it next weekend?
It's either this week or next weekend.
Yeah.
So PBC are not going to fight
on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get a Charlo fight, funny enough. But yeah, they're not going to fight that guy. They're not going to put Lubin in with him. So I feel like he can, and PBC have a stranglehold of the 154 division. So I feel like he can eke out a proper career and do well there. So
it's quite a weak division, isn't it? 154.
It was actually a very strong division, but it's just all these guys have fought each other. Basically, 154 is what we want to see in every division. These guys fight each other. I love it, but unfortunately, it's not a glamour division. It's not like 147 or 135 or heavyweights or light heavyweights. So it just flies under the radar, just like Naoya Inoue, how he normally flies under the radar. And he's just been on an absolute tear recently. But again, he's gonna get frozen out by the PBC. Funny enough, like the Donaire Casemiro fight, that's falling through. So now Casemiro is fighting Rigondeaux. So that's staying with that.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. So basically what happened was Donaire wanted Casemiro to get more stringent drug testing, although both of them are signed up to the clean boxing program. And then them man are like, yo, bro, Donaire, you're not the sanctioning body, you're not the WBC. Why are you trying to tell us what to do? Like, you're trying to impose new shit. Like, what's wrong with you? So Donaire's manager, his wife, was talking like, yo, was getting involved. And obviously, them man was just started being a bit misogynistic in it. So they started talking a bit crazy.
His wife?
To his wife, yeah. And Donaire pulled out. So, so that fight's not happening anymore. So now Casemiro's fighting Rigondeaux. If Casemiro loses to Rigo, listen, make that Rigo versus Naoya Inoue fight. But I just know the PBC won't do that. I just know it.
How old is Rigondeaux now? Seriously, man.
He's like
must be in his 40s.
He's like 50 years old. he's been everywhere, man. Real old warrior. But his story.
It says he's 40, but
they're lying.
He looks a lot older than 40, doesn't he? And he's Cuban as well.
But what they done to Rigo, what they done to Rigo gives the PBC sycophants and the PBC validation. No, it does. I can't lie. Like the way Rigo got absolutely destroyed, and no one could protect him, no one could look after him, no one could give him fights. That's what they're not trying to. That would never happen to another fighter on the PBC. That could never happen to them. So,
cool. Let's move on then to want to talk a little bit about Fight Camp. Their prices got released. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like when you guys told me, oh, it is actually 750 quid. I was like, ooh, a bit steep. But then you told me the package, and then I was like, whoa. I mean, look, Naeem said, Eddie Hearn's going to pick us up, right? He's going to pick us up. He's going to pick us up. He's going to drive us to his house in Brentford, right? We're going to get hospitality. He's going to give us all the hospitality in the world, and we're going to get great fights for the great seats for the fight. I mean, 750 quid, that's a bargain, isn't it?
Great, yeah, it's strong quotation marks.
Listen, you spend more on trainers, mate, so...
Wow, Lewis. You're trying to get me run up in this group chat. Well, see, first of all, great fights is a loose word, yeah. Honestly, you know what's pissed me off the most about this fight camp? After last year's fight camp, which I actually thoroughly enjoyed, Eddie spoke about for about 3-4 weeks about how and hyped up. I actually watched the IFL interviews and hyped up Fight Camp and showed Cougar the his notebook, and Cougar, oh no way, we got those guys on. I was eagerly anticipating it, bro. Where are the fights? Where are the fights?
What's the first one? So it's Conor Ben, right?
Yep.
So on the first one, we've got Conor Ben, Granados, Fowler, Garcia, McCarthy, Billum Smith, Yildirim Cullen, Shannon Courtney, and Campbell Hatton. Yeah, 750 quid.
750 pounds. That should be in Bethnal Green. No,
that's
cap.
harsh. That is very, very harsh.
I'm not capping. That legitimately should be Bethnal Green.
Conor Ben is not a York Hall fighter.
That is a York Hall fight all day long.
Conor Ben is an O2 fighter.
You know what? I'm blaming on that. I'm being a bit harsh here, but honestly, take Conor Ben off of it.
But that's like saying everything, isn't it? That's like saying take. You can't just take the headline guy away from
750 Great British pounds.
Yeah, but Eddie's gonna pick you up in his motor. He's gonna pick you up. He's gonna tell you stories.
750. A PS5 is 450. You taking the piss?
Well, listen, I've tried my best to defend the price. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. It does seem a lot. But it's a very exclusive event. I don't know how many tickets are available, and you're paying for the whole experience. I guess
you're paying for the experience. It's not just the fights. You're paying to be in Eddie Hearn's back garden.
And you don't just want any numpty there, does he? You don't want just anyone in his house. Like, come on, you can't make the price like 200 quid because all of us would be there, won't we? We will be, Lewis
will be there. Take a picture, send it in the group chat, and we're like, "Yo, Eddie's invited me around."
Lewis came on with sleeping bag.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. You have to set the price at a certain mark so that I'm not saying 750 is 750 is extortionate to me. Is that the cheapest? Is that the cheapest ticket? Yeah.
Yes, it's the only price.
It's the only price.
Yeah. Is that bad? It was when I first saw it. I thought it was 750 for the entire fight. And I was like, and I said, "Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Like, you can." Is
it free? Is it free? Is it free cards? Is it fight camp? 3 weeks. Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Fair enough. You can run that. That kind of.
That would have been good value though.
Yeah. I literally thought, you know what? Fair enough. When I saw one, I said, whoa! This guy is trying to scam people. Like after pandemic. I know you just got to the zone and lost Sky and you've taken away Sky budget and everything, but mate, you're not gonna start stealing out people's pockets, man. Don't do that.
Listen, the event itself, I'm sure it costs a lot to put on, right?
Shit, it's in his back garden as well.
Exactly.
So what's the
how much? Okay, Sam, how much would you charge? Yeah, for a boxing fight in your back garden.
My back garden, you can have it free.
Oh, okay. Right, fair enough then. That wasn't a great example. All right, let's move on to Andre Ward's pound for pound top 4 list, getting quite an interesting response. I can't say that I'm a huge Andre Ward fan post retirement. Naeem looked at me like, what are you talking about, Lee? But yeah, I mean, some of his things are a bit. I feel like he's got real strong biases especially to Americans as well.
No, it's not. It's not to Americans. It's to Top Rank.
You don't think it's to Americans?
Like, it is. If Matchroom gave me a job right now, and put food on my table, hey, you're gonna see me here in the Matchroom hoodie, 100%.
I think. Personally, I think it's just it's an American bias. I feel like American exceptionalism. Personally, like if you look at ask all these former American fighters, their pound for pound list, it was not that different. It's very heavily weighted towards American fighters, and you have Crawford or Canelo top 2. If they're black, they're probably gonna have Crawford number 1. If they're not black, they're gonna have Canelo number 1. I'm just being real with you. Like, go over there to any American, they won't have most British guys. The only reason why they have Tyson Fury, they'll have him up there because of what he done to Wilder. Like Wilder is the definition of promotion, eventually, anyways. Like they marketed this guy as the most dangerous heavyweight that's ever existed in history. So what Fury done to him is just, it's so prominent in people's minds. Everyone's gonna hype him. Now you are Inoue. A lot of people don't know him. They're starting to get his name out there, but again, he's not going to be high up in people's pound for pound list because people don't really know him like that. Like they have Spence top 5 when Spence ain't is a one-weight fighter, is not undisputed yet. But you have people like Usyk who's undisputed. They're like, oh fuck that guy. He's not looked good in his last 2 fights. Cool. So it's just so subjective for me.
Yeah.
As long as the top 3 are solid guys that I know are deserving to be top 3, I don't mind. What I find nasty is how everyone's removed Lomachenko from the pound for pound list. It's just ridiculous for me.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that. I was a bit surprised to see Josh Taylor in there, to be fair. So props for that. But is there any inclusions other than Lomachenko that you guys would have liked to have seen, who are not on Andre Ward's top 10? I'll read it out for the listers. So it's Crawford number 1, Canelo 2, Tyson Fury number 3, Spence 4, Inoue 5, Usyk 6, Teofimo 7, Juan Estrada 8, Josh Taylor 9, and Oscar Valdez 10.
See, for me, Taylor should be way higher up. I don't understand how he can be high. I'm thinking undisputed
because he's British, bro.
Like, but he's under basically. Well, he's not, is he? He's not actually under ESPN. I keep thinking he's with Top Rank, but he's not. But he should 100% be higher up. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, even as much as me and Jide get on about Crawford and Spencer and so forth, I agree with that. Spence shouldn't be as high up as he is. But I don't think Crawford should be. Anyway, I don't understand why Crawford is number 1 or 2 on most people's lists for his past endeavors that hasn't really been maintained. I would be all for it if he was still fighting at that same caliber or level now. But the truth of the matter is, his last fights have been Amir Khan and Brook. How does that make you pound for pound number 1? How? You've got Canelo literally going through the weights and smashing through everybody and fighting every nemesis. How are you flipping a coin between who should be number 1?
Have you seen Canelo's hit list, bro?
It's crazy.
To me, I don't see how anyone could argue that Crawford is ahead of Canelo. I don't get it. I don't know
why Crawford's so high.
People argue it. Firstly, the quote unquote skill gap, and second,
but is there a skill gap?
Well, they think there is. People think there is because my man can switch hit. And listen, it's crazy. Like,
it's crazy.
Crawford, like I said, if you're a black fight fan, you'll probably have Crawford number 1. If you're not a black fight fan, you don't have Crawford number 1. If you're not biased, you don't have Crawford number 1. It's literally that simple. Like Crawford, I'm a big fan of Crawford. I love the way he fights, but he's not number 1. He's for me, he's number 2 or number 3. The reason I have him,
you're having top 2. I can't have him 2 or 3. I'm sorry.
The reason why I have him number 2 or number 3 is number 1 is done undisputed. That for me means a lot. It's just
so has Taylor. So has Loma.
Yeah, that's why I rate Taylor high. That's why I rate Taylor high. I'm not taking that away from him. Number 2, he's been ducked in his own weight class. Like, these guys are running from you. I don't want to hear it. These guys don't want problems with you. There's a reason why. Like Pacquiao, even Pacquiao's trainer said it. I do not want to fight Crawford at all, but I see something in Spence. So if a Legends trainer is out here saying he wants no smoke with you, when you guys were in the same organization, your promoter put him away from you. He said he wants no smoke with you, but he wants smoke with your direct rival. Hey, to me, I got to look at that, and for me, it's a skill thing. Like, Crawford can do different things in the ring that a lot of guys can't do, which is why for me is a bit high.
This is fantasy, though. We don't know. We don't.
Yeah, know. But pound for pound is fantasy, though. The whole concept of it's fantasy.
Yeah, I don't like it. Though. I think it's got out of hand.
It has. That's why I say there should only be a pound for pound number 1. There shouldn't be a top 5, a top 10, a top. Pound for pound number 1 right now is Canelo Alvarez. That's it. There shouldn't be a top 3. There shouldn't be some ranking that you need to climb on. No, number 1 is Canelo Alvarez. He's been winning the longest, fighting the best competition the longest. Bro, my man said he wants to beat up Spence. He wants to beat up Charlo. Then he wants to go fight. He wants to become undisputed against Caleb. Then he wants to go up and fight Bivol. Then he wants to fight Bertebiev. We have not. This is crazy. Canelo is doing stuff guys nowadays don't even bother or try to do. Canelo is going to go down as the greatest fighter of all time. if he's successful in what he's trying to do. And hey, Nagrubuto services, I beg, listen, not the place for that, bro.
Let's end on a bit of a banter one. Amir Khan says he deliberately didn't fight Kell Brook years ago to hurt him and teach him a lesson, but insists long-awaited clash could happen now.
Oh Lord of mercy.
Listen, for F that guy, man. Listen, the British fight fans will never forgive Amir Khan for what he done, and I'm happy that I love that. No one wants to pick up this Brook fight. Eddie Hearn's already told him to go do one. Frank Warren's definitely not going to pick him up because he's lost money. He's not trying to lose any more money. So he's like, no, whatever Khan's going to want a lot of money, I ain't going to try to pick up that fight. These guys didn't. Khan coming out and saying, because of what Brook was saying, we didn't fight in our primes because I wanted to hurt him. Like, that makes no sense.
That is such a bitch move as well, man. Fuck it up.
He's such a donut. And you know how him and Joshua have this little beef like going on, yeah? How can my man say, Anthony Joshua, he's a beast as a heavyweight, but if I was him, I'll do all my power to run away from Fury. The arbitration decision was the best thing for Joshua. That's him throwing shots. It's like, bro, at least Anthony Joshua's not trying to run away from his rivals. I can't say the same about you. Anthony Joshua's trying to fight his direct British rival. You ran away from yours like a little bitch because he made you upset about your feelings. Like, Amir Khan never wanted to lose to Kell Brook because he knew if he lost to Kell Brook, he can't live with it. He can't live it down. When people say Amir Khan's not scared of Brook, no, it's not about being because he fought Canelo. It's not about being scared. Like, losing to Canelo, you're expected to lose.
Yeah.
But losing to Brook, you are favorite. You are the star boy of British welterweight boxing scene. If
that would have been the end for him.
Yeah, that's the end for it, and he couldn't live it down. He would never have been able to live it down, which is why he didn't fight him.
Yeah. I agree, man. Amir Khan's just an utter disappointment, man. A career that started so brightly, you know, one of everyone's favorite fighters. You know, he was one of the reasons I first got into boxing. You know, when I was a little bit younger. I won't give away my age. Yeah, and his career, the way it's just panned out, has just been so disappointing. If both careers were to finish tomorrow, some may say they are. Who would you say has had a better career, Brook or Khan?
Khan.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, objectively
the best fight, the best win.
Best win.
Oh, that would be Brook for me.
I think it's still be Khan.
Who's Khan's best win?
Maidana.
Yeah, it was fight.
Me, Porter over Maidana.
Porter beats Maidana for me.
Nah, man. Khan versus Maidana was fight of the year. It was fight of the year.
But it's not about quality. It's not about how exciting the fight is. We're saying the win, the level of the win.
I think Brook has a higher level of win than Khan. Yeah. I rate Porter higher than Maidana.
Yeah. So,
you know the difference though. Khan actually won at a higher stage.
Like who's win though? Or Maidana?
No, that wasn't his only win. Come on, man.
What's Khan's best win? It's Maidana, bro. And Porter is a better fighter than Maidana. Brook has the better win, but Khan has more quality wins. That's it.
Yeah, that's part of the comment.
Yeah. Khan has the quantity.
I guess the most impressive one, other than that, was maybe Devon.
Yeah, Devon
Alexander, or maybe Luis Colazzo. Algiri, Vargas. Just man.
But when you look at Brook, apart from Porter, honestly, his record stinks, man.
Yeah,
like you got Carson Jones that you went laughing death with twice.
Oh god, yeah. It's true.
I don't know why he was ever so hyped up the way he was, honestly.
Yeah, no, you're right. There is not an impressive victory on Brook's resume outside Porter. And to be fair, I think if Porter and Brook were to fight, maybe not now, but if they were to fight, again, if they had a rematch, I think Porter would wipe him.
Yeah, he was losing
personally. So
the rematch now, yeah, Porter destroys him. Easy.
Not even now, just like even if it was like 3-4 years ago.
No.
You think Porter?
Brook before he got his eye busted out would have had him again, because that Brook was physically strong, which is what Porter said. Porter couldn't do that bullshit bully tactics he loves doing.
I didn't like the first fight. I think actually, you're forgetting how close the first fight was. I personally think he won convincing. Actually, people said it was 50-50 anyway, but I didn't think it was convincing.
Yeah, no, but it was Porter. Porter doesn't lose clean. Like, you don't beat Porter. You don't look good against Porter.
It's a terrible night for anyone.
Yeah,
it was a majority decision, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but
the reason why Brook won that fight was he was able to tie up Porter, and every time they were about to let go of the clinch, he jabbed his head off. Like, Porter even said it in his podcast that he learned from that every time they split them up, like, the referee got involved, Brook is teeing off on him. So it's one of those ones. Brook had his tactics right, and I do feel with their rematch, Brook would probably, in my opinion, I'll still put in favor, because again, you can't bully this guy, and the way you fight, you need to be able to impose yourself on them.
That was his whole
and if you can't impose yourself on a guy, then you're not, like, even Spence that I'm always getting on to. The reason why Porter couldn't do everything he does, because he couldn't fully impose himself, because Spence is a big guy. Although he pushed Spence back though. Like, Porter did really well in that fight. That knockdown done a lot for Spence, but yeah.
All right, lads, let's call it a night there. Naeem, Jide, Sams, thanks for joining me. Guys, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, leave the video a like as well. Apple reviews, please. Apple reviews, make sure to do that, and use the hashtag Ringside Fracas when you are listening as well. And we'll be back next week. Take it easy, gentlemen.
Sweet.
And ladies.